Hi, this is Sean from Booth Masters, and today we're bringing you a video on calibration. So we're going to show you how to calibrate the array. When you first open the multi-camera software itself, you're going to see this window right here. Then you're going to want to click Camera, Live View, and it's going to show you a live view of what each of the cameras are seeing. Just so you know, before this video starts, you're going to want to put the tripod up with 2 lights mounted to it, and then use camera 6 as a judge, again going to camera live view, and you want to make sure the lights are pinpoint accurate onto the 2 crosshairs, the one on the top right here in the middle, and then the one on the bottom. After you do that, you're going to go through each of the cameras and you're going to align it so that the lights are perfectly on the green line. Right here, I'm going to be showing you how to actually do this whole process from the front end of the booth. So you're going to want your computer mounted on top of the booth facing towards you, so it's easier to get or to see those green lines. You don't have to like constantly go back and forth. So you're going to move that lens with your 2 fingers to the left or to the right, depending on where the lights are in the actual live view. Then what you do, what you see me do right here, you go and you switch the autofocus switch to autofocus, and then you put your finger onto the shutter release and you put your hand in front of the lens just to see if the lens moves back and forth. If it does, that means that you're doing it right, and then move your hand out of the way and it'll focus in, and you'll know that once you hear a beep. After you hear that beep, then you're good to go, and then you move down the line of all 11 cameras. So it's a pretty repetitive process, but this is how you begin the calibration. Note that before you actually autofocus, so when you click your finger onto the shutter release, you're going to want to actually close out of the live view for that specific camera. Otherwise, it won't let you autofocus. Instead, it will just keep taking a picture. So make sure you close out of the live view for that camera after you're done lining it up so that you're able to autofocus onto the 2 lights behind you. Another thing to note is that is actually the settings of these cameras. So do you see how for our TV we have 1 out of 60, which is our shutter speed, AV, the aperture is 9, and the ISO is 400. Different settings will work better for different situations of lighting, but the reason why we have these settings the way we do is because we want more of the lights to show than we do of the background of the space, because during calibration, you want the calibration files to line up onto those lights when you click align. So it's important that the surroundings are a little darker than the actual lights themselves. And you don't want it too dark because then you won't be able to see the lights and then the images won't line up perfectly. So we just finished all 11 cameras. Now you click Camera, Multi-Live View in order to see if all the cameras are focused in correctly. And if they are, you move on and you click File, Run Multi-Camera Animator, and then the list will pop up. You click Calibration folder, and then a calibration folder will be created as I just showed you. Then you take a photo, and after all 11 photos process in the main window, which is right now behind the multi-camera animator window, you're going to click Calibrate. And we'll get to that in like a few seconds here. So right now I'm just waiting for all of those 11 photos to process. Then you click Calibrate, and it'll automatically direct you to the folder that was created once you hit Calibration folder. And then in that folder there will be 11 images, or there should be. And then if you're using a 7 cam, it's going to be 7 images. Make sure that you have zoom display checked. And if you do, you're ready to go. Click Auto Align, and then it'll say either all images aligned successfully, which is what just happened, or it'll say too many image clusters. So if that happens, one of the images will not be lined up correctly, and then you're just going to have to go in and do it manually. After the calibration is done, you click OK, then you click Run, and once you run the thing, it'll create a GIF once you take a photo. So this right here, I'm showing you where you change the number of cameras that the GIF is watching. And then right here, I'm showing you the actual sizing of the GIF that you can change. We use 1280. That's usually generally the best. But each setting is different. So I just changed it to 500 just to show what happens if you crop the images down to 500. Basically, they're just going to be smaller. And so because ours are at 1280, you're going to be able to see the overlay. But since I just crop it down to 500, the overlay is going to be actually cut out. So right now I'm just looking for a file in the directory to copy and paste. That way the animator can just create a quick new file. So basically, after you copy and then you paste, the animator will actually create the new file like I just said, and it'll have a copied version inside the GIF folder directory. Right now we're in the multi-camera folder directory, which just shows you all the files before they're turned into GIFs. So here we're going to go and find the file I just made at a 500 crop. Again, remember that our crop is normally at 1280, and I will show you two GIFs, one with the 500 crop and then one with the 1280 crop. So there it goes. So this is what it looks like at 500. The file is just smaller. Now, if you were to open another one that we usually use, it'll be bigger and you'll be able to see the overlay. So right here is the example at 1280 and file size, and then you're able to see that overlay. So that is the end of the video. If you have any general questions, feel free to contact Sean or Stephanie, and we'll get you headed in the right direction. Right now I'm just changing it back to 1280, and yeah.